My dad can fix that, the human girl said to the alien woman with a broken prosthetic leg. The spaceport of Veridia was always busy. Ships of every shape and size came and went, some floating silently through the air while others rumbled like heavy beasts. Aliens of countless species walked the wide, shining corridors. Some had 4 arms, some had long tails, and others had colors that shifted like liquid rainbows. Humans were fewer here, but their curiosity and courage were well known. Among the crowd, a small human girl named Leela weaved her way carefully. She was 12 years old, with messy brown hair tied in a loose ponytail and bright green eyes that shone with curiosity. Her small backpack was stuffed with gadgets, spare parts, and her sketchbook full of machine diagrams she had drawn herself. Leela had come to Veridia with a single purpose. She was waiting for her father, Engineer Mark, one of the most talented human engineers in the galaxy. People said he could fix anything, from broken starships to alien gadgets that no one else could understand. Leela had grown up in his workshop, learning to handle tools and machines before she even knew how to cook a proper meal. Today, however, she wasn't thinking about waiting. Her eyes darted from one unusual alien to another, imagining how she could improve their gadgets or how she could make life a little easier for someone in trouble. Suddenly, a loud clack echoed across the corridor. A woman stumbled. Leela turned sharply. The woman was tall and elegant, with shimmering violet skin that glimmered in the spaceport lights. She had long, graceful limbs, and her eyes were a deep shade of blue, almost like melted sapphire. But one thing caught Leela's attention immediately. The woman's prosthetic leg, a sleek piece of technology that seemed almost alive, was twisted awkwardly. Sparks flickered along its surface. The alien struggled to regain balance, but it was clear she was in pain. People around her stepped aside nervously, unsure how to help without offending her. Leela's heart pounded. She had seen broken machines before, but never a broken prosthetic like this. And she knew, deep inside, that this was her kind of problem. Without thinking, she ran forward. "Excuse me, are you okay?" she called. The woman looked down, startled. Her sapphire eyes softened slightly, but there was also a glint of caution. I will manage," she said, her voice smooth but tight. Leela crouched beside the bent leg. That's not just manageable. It's broken. My dad can fix that." For a moment, the alien froze. Her brows drew together. "Your father a human?" Leela nodded eagerly. "Yes, he's the best. He's repaired spacecrafts, energy cores, and even alien machines you wouldn't believe. Come with me. I know he can fix your leg." The woman stared at the small human girl, unsure whether she was serious. But the prosthetic was still sparking dangerously, and no amount of alien pride could deny that she needed help. "Very well," the alien said carefully. "But my time is valuable. If this human of yours cannot repair it, I will need to leave immediately." Leela grinned. "That's fine. I'll make sure my dad knows it's urgent. Follow me." The workshop where Engineer Mark worked was a sight to behold. It was perched on the edge of the spaceport, a large building of metal and glass with tools floating in small anti-gravity fields. Mechanical arms moved on their own, carrying instruments from one place to another. On the walls were shelves stacked with glowing crystals, wires, and devices that hummed with energy. Engineer Mark was in the middle of repairing a hover engine when Leela burst through the door, dragging the alien behind her. "Dad, look, her leg, it's broken, but I know you can fix it," Leela exclaimed, practically bouncing on her toes. Mark looked up from his workbench, adjusting his thick glasses. He studied the alien's leg and then the girl's enthusiastic face. Well, it seems you found someone in need of a repair, Leela," he said with a calm smile. "And what a sophisticated piece of technology this is. Where did you get this?" The alien, who introduced herself as Kelara, explained briefly. "It is a prosthetic limb equipped with a quantum core. It allows me to walk, run, and adapt to different environments. However, it has malfunctioned. No Zinthar engineer can repair it in time. I require immediate assistance." Mark's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "A quantum core prosthetic? Fascinating. It will be a challenge, but I enjoy a good challenge." He turned to Leela, giving her a proud glance. "And it seems my little assistant here knows exactly how to find work for me." Leela giggled. "See, I told you." Kelara, however, remained cautious. "I must warn you, human engineer, if this repair fails, I will have to find other options. My mobility is essential for my mission." Mark nodded thoughtfully. "Understood, but I am confident. Leela, bring me the toolkit." The girl rushed to fetch her small toolkit, carefully handing over spanners, screwdrivers, and calibration tools. Even her father smiled at how she instinctively knew which tool would be useful next. Together, the three of them examined the prosthetic. Sparks still flickered and the leg hissed as it tried to recalibrate itself. "This is not just a mechanical failure," Mark said. "It's a quantum core misalignment. It's very advanced even for Zinthar engineers, but I think I can stabilize it." Leela's eyes widened. "You can." Mark smiled. "We'll see. Let's start by isolating the damaged circuits and rerouting the energy flow. Leela, I'll need you to hold the stabilizer." Leela nodded, gripping the small device tightly. "Got it." Hours passed. The workshop was filled with the hum of machinery, soft sparks, and occasional exclamations from Kelara when something unusual happened. Leela handed her father tools, suggested small adjustments, and even pointed out a pattern she noticed in the sparks. "You see these flickers?" she asked. "They seem to follow a rhythm. Maybe the core is trying to balance itself." Mark raised his eyebrows. "Interesting observation, Leela. Let's try syncing the algorithm to that rhythm." Kelara watched in amazement as a human child helped solve a problem that had baffled her people. Her confidence in the humans, small as they were, began to grow. By evening, the leg was partially functional. Kelara tested it carefully, stepping onto the floor. The prosthetic bent and flexed, almost like a living limb, though it still stumbled occasionally. "It works, partially," Mark said. "We need a test outside the workshop with real movement." Kelara hesitated. "I will need to move cautiously. I cannot risk further damage." Leela's green eyes sparkled. "I'll help. I can guide you. My dad said humans are great at thinking on their feet." The alien allowed herself a small smile. "You are persistent, little human. Very well, I will follow your lead." Stepping out into the bustling spaceport, Kelara tested her repaired leg. She walked carefully, then tried a small jog. The leg bent and adjusted, though not perfectly. Leela ran alongside her, pointing out obstacles, carts moving too fast, drones hovering near an uneven ground. "Step there, then twist a little," Leela instructed. "Good, you're doing it," Kelara marveled. The human girl's guidance was precise, clever, and sometimes daring. In moments when her prosthetic faltered, Leela's quick thinking kept her safe. A small crowd had gathered, curious about the tall, violet-skinned alien walking carefully through the port. Some whispered in amazement, others in skepticism. Kelara noticed, but she did not feel fear. Instead, she felt something she had not expected, respect for the humans who were helping her, even a child. After several careful tests, the prosthetic stabilized. Sparks no longer flew, and Kelara could walk smoothly. She stopped, catching her breath, and looked down at Leela. "You, humans, are remarkable," she said quietly. "Especially you, child. I doubted that anyone of your kind could help me." Leela grinned, holding up her small hands. "Told you, my dad can fix anything." And sometimes, humans think in ways even aliens don't expect. Kelara's lips curved into a faint smile. "Indeed, I have underestimated your kind. Perhaps I have much to learn." Leela looked up at her father, who was watching from the workshop doorway, smiling proudly. She felt a warm glow inside her chest. Humans may not be the strongest, the fastest, or the most advanced species in the galaxy, but they had something that no machine or alien could replicate: imagination, courage, and determination. And today, in the crowded halls of Viridia's spaceport, they had proven it. The workshop was alive with movement. Small robotic arms hovered, carrying tools, while glowing screens displayed schematics that changed with a soft hum. Engineer Mark leaned over Kelara's prosthetic leg, carefully examining its circuits. Leela knelt beside him, her hands busy with a small calibration device, her eyes bright with excitement. "This is incredible," Mark said. "I've seen many advanced devices, but the way your core adapts is something else. I can stabilize it, but it will require some careful adjustments." Kelara watched him silently. She had expected alien engineers to fix her prosthetic quickly, but here she was, relying on a human. She had not thought humans could handle quantum-level technology. Leela piped up, "Dad, I think I figured out why the leg keeps twitching." She pointed to a small sequence of lights that blinked along the prosthetic circuits. "See this pattern? It's like it's trying to balance itself, but it's confused by something in the wiring." Mark raised an eyebrow. "Very observant, you may be right. Sometimes a fresh perspective is exactly what is needed." He turned to Kelara. "If you allow us, we will try to reprogram the stabilizer using her observation." Kelara hesitated. I trust your expertise for now. The workshop buzzed with activity. Leela handed her father tools at just the right time, swapped wires when he asked, and even offered small suggestions. Maybe we can sync the leg's internal sensors with its external movements. That way it learns as it moves. Mark nodded thoughtfully. Excellent idea. Let's integrate it with the algorithm. Hours passed. Leela learned to follow her father's instructions, carefully watching how he connected circuits and coded adjustments into the prosthetic. Kelara, for her part, remained still, letting them work, though she occasionally flexed her fingers as if anxious. This is amazing, Leela whispered to her father at one point. I've never seen anything like this. Mark smiled. And soon she will be able to walk again, thanks to both of us. Finally, after many hours, Mark looked up from the prosthetic. I believe we're ready for a trial. Kelara carefully stepped onto the floor. The prosthetic bent and flexed more smoothly than before. Her long, elegant form moved with a grace that amazed Leela. The leg seemed almost alive, responding perfectly to her balance. It works, Mark said, but only in controlled conditions. We need to test it in the real world. Kelara's eyes narrowed slightly. The real world is unpredictable. Are you certain this is wise? Leela bounced on her toes. Yes, that's how we really know it works. Come on, Kelara, I'll guide you. Kelara sighed, but allowed herself to be led out of the workshop. The spaceport outside was as busy as ever. Aliens hurried past with parcels, drones zipped through the air, and cargo vehicles rumbled on wide tracks. Kelara took cautious steps, testing the leg under real conditions. It bent and adapted, though she occasionally stumbled. Leela ran beside her, pointing out obstacles and giving instructions. Watch that cart. Step to the left. Good. Now twist. Leela shouted, her voice filled with excitement. Kelara's movements were cautious but improving. She marveled at how a small human could see and respond to challenges so quickly. Her mind, trained for tactical thinking and complex calculations, was impressed by Leela's natural instinct and creativity. This child, she guides me better than any navigation system I have used, Kelara muttered. Leela grinned. Humans are tricky like that. We use our brains and our hearts, not just technology. The crowd of spaceport travelers watched in awe. A violet-skinned alien walking carefully through obstacles, guided by a tiny human, was a sight few had ever seen. Some whispered in admiration, others in skepticism. Kelara ignored the murmurs. She focused on trusting the humans helping her. Suddenly, a drone carrying a heavy cargo box veered too close. Kelara's leg trembled under the unexpected weight, and sparks flickered along the circuits. Leela reacted immediately. Step back, twist right, she shouted. Kelara followed the instructions, avoiding the falling cargo. Her heart raced, but she felt relief. She had learned something important. Humans, small as they were, had instincts and intuition that even advanced technology could not replicate. Impressive, Kelara said, her voice soft. Your guidance, it saved me from injury. Leela beamed. Told you humans think fast. They continued through the spaceport, testing the leg on different surfaces, smooth floors, graded platforms, and slightly uneven ground. Each time, Kelara moved more confidently. Leela suggested small tweaks, like adjusting the sensors to account for vibrations or slightly shifting the weight distribution. Mark watched from a distance, making notes and occasionally calling instructions. Yes, Leela is right. Minor adjustments make a huge difference. Excellent teamwork, both of you. By evening, the leg was functioning almost perfectly. Kelara tested a series of steps, then a small run, and finally a short jump. The prosthetic responded seamlessly. I am impressed, Kelara said, a faint smile forming on her lips. I underestimated humans. Even a child can provide insight that machines and experience alone cannot. Leela blushed. We're not just small and weak, we're clever too. Kelara studied her carefully. Indeed. Your kind has determination, creativity, courage. These qualities, they are rare in the galaxy. Leela's green eyes sparkled. Thanks, and my dad says humans always try to solve problems, even impossible ones. Kelara looked at Engineer Mark, who simply smiled. It is true, he said. Humans may not be the strongest or the fastest, but we make up for it with ingenuity, patience, and teamwork. Kelara's posture relaxed slightly. She felt a warmth she had not expected. She had relied on humans today and realized they were not just capable. They were extraordinary in ways that technology alone could not measure. The next morning, Kelara returned to the workshop. She wanted to thank them again and learn more about human ingenuity. I wish to understand your methods better, she said. Perhaps I can improve my prosthetics even further by learning from you. Leela clapped her hands. Yes, I can show you. We can work together, Mark nodded. I would be happy to teach you, Kelara. And Leela, well, she has a knack for seeing patterns others miss. She may teach you too. Kelara looked at the young girl. Leela's eyes shone with excitement, her small hands waving as she explained how sensors worked, how algorithms could be adjusted, and how machines could learn from their environment. Kelara listened, amazed at the child's insight. You may have changed my perception of humans, Kelara admitted. I believed your kind relied too heavily on simple tools and instincts, but today I have seen something else. Creativity, courage, adaptation, qualities that machines, no matter how advanced, cannot replace. Leela grinned. That's us. Humans think fast even when the world tries to slow us down. Kelara smiled faintly. Indeed, I see now why humans have survived and thrived even among species far stronger or faster than you. Later that afternoon, a small problem arose. A calibration sequence in the prosthetic began to fail unexpectedly. Kelara winced as the leg stumbled slightly. Don't worry, Leela said, pulling a small device from her backpack. I think I can fix it. Mark raised an eyebrow. You, alone, Leela nodded confidently. I noticed a pattern last night. The core's adjustments are too fast. I can slow it down in sync with your movement. Kelara looked at her skeptically, but she trusted the child. Carefully, she allowed Leela to attach the device and make the adjustments. Sparks flickered, then faded. Test it now, Leela instructed. Kelara flexed her leg. She stepped forward, then ran lightly. The prosthetic moved perfectly, almost as if it were alive, responding to her intent rather than just mechanical programming. It works, Kelara whispered. I have never experienced such precise adjustment before. Leela beamed. Humans can fix almost anything. Sometimes we need a little practice, but we get it done. Kelara studied her. This child, she has helped me more than many experienced engineers. Perhaps your kind is more valuable than I imagined. Mark put a hand on Leela's shoulder. And that is why I encourage her to learn, experiment, and never be afraid to try. Humans may be small, but our minds are powerful. Kelara nodded. For the first time in a long while, she felt hope. Not just for her leg, but for what humans could achieve. She had faced advanced machines, complex worlds, and dangers beyond imagination. Yet here, in a simple workshop with a father and his daughter, she had found something she could not have anticipated, human ingenuity and heart. Leela looked up at her father and then at Kelara. See, I told you my dad could fix it. And sometimes humans can fix even more than machines. We can fix problems no one else thinks they can. Kelara smiled faintly. Indeed, today you have both taught me something important. Humans are extraordinary. And for the first time, Leela realized just how much humans could achieve, even in a galaxy full of advanced aliens and impossible challenges. Today had been only the beginning. The next morning, the spaceport of Veridia was brighter than ever. The sun reflected off the polished floors, casting long golden rays across moving cargo vehicles and hovering drones. Leela bounced on her toes in the workshop doorway, excited to continue the day's adventure. Today was the day Kelara would test her newly repaired prosthetic leg in the real world, beyond the workshop, in the crowded and unpredictable spaceport. Kelara stood silently, her violet skin glinting under the sunlight, her long, elegant form tense with cautious anticipation. I am prepared, she said, her sapphire eyes scanning the busy corridors. But I warn you, human girl, any misstep may damage the leg or worse. Leela grinned. Don't worry, I'll guide you. You'll be fine. My dad says humans are great in emergencies because we think fast. Engineer Mark, watching from the doorway, nodded approvingly. You two are ready. Remember, the goal is not just movement, it's adaptation. Observe, adjust, and anticipate. Leela, guide her carefully. Kelara stepped outside, her prosthetic leg flexing with perfect mechanical precision. At first, she walked slowly, testing the sensors and calibration. The crowd around them parted cautiously, curious about the tall alien moving carefully through the bustling spaceport. Leela ran beside her. Step over that cargo crate. Good. Now a small twist. Yes, perfect. The prosthetic adjusted almost instinctively, bending and flexing with Kelara's movements. But the true test began when she tried to jog. Her balance was excellent, but uneven surfaces caused minor wobbles. Leela shouted instructions, helping her regain stability. You're doing great. Watch the ramp ahead, slow, now step left. Leela's voice was confident, and Kelara followed her instructions flawlessly. At first, the test seemed simple, but soon the unpredictable nature of the spaceport introduced real challenges. A hover cart carrying heavy cargo veered unexpectedly toward them. Kelara's prosthetic shivered under the sudden stress. Twist right. Jump slightly, Leela yelled, pointing. Kelara obeyed immediately. The leg flexed just in time, and she narrowly avoided being struck by the moving vehicle. Sparks flickered briefly along the prosthetic, but it held. I did not expect such rapid reactions, Kelara admitted, her voice slightly shaken. You humans, small as you are, you think quickly in ways machines cannot. Leela smiled. That's us, and my dad taught me that fast thinking comes with practice. You just have to trust it. The test continued through the crowded corridors. Kelara stepped over cables, adjusted for moving hover platforms, and avoided curious aliens who stepped too close. Leela guided her at every turn, giving instructions with confidence. At one point, a group of small cargo drones zipped past, carrying glowing containers. One of them malfunctioned and dropped a container right in Kelara's path. Leela shouted, "Step back, step back!" Kelara jumped just in time. The container clanged against the floor and sparks shot from its damaged panel. Leela grabbed Kelara's hand to steady her. That was close, Kelara said, catching her breath. I see now, humans are not only clever, you are brave. Leela's eyes sparkled. Thanks. And you're doing amazing too. The leg is working perfectly now, see? Kelara flexed her prosthetic, testing it with deliberate steps and jumps. It functions well, but the real challenge is endurance. We must test it for longer distances, across unpredictable terrain. Leela nodded eagerly. Let's go. I know you can handle it. They moved toward the outer section of the spaceport, where cargo platforms, storage units, and repair stations created a more chaotic environment. Here, the floors were uneven, with ramps, graded walkways, and moving lifts. Even small missteps could cause a serious fall. Kelara adjusted her posture, focusing intently. She stepped onto the graded walkway, the prosthetic adapting smoothly to the small gaps in the surface. Leela ran alongside, pointing at the approaching hazards. Ramp ahead, slow down, now step over the small crates. Good. Kelara moved gracefully, though her mind raced with calculation. Every step, every adjustment required precise attention. And yet she felt a strange confidence because of the human girl guiding her. This, small human, she has taught me something no training could, Kelara thought. Humans think with both their minds and their hearts. Machines cannot replicate that. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the spaceport. A warning light flashed red. A cargo lift had malfunctioned, sending crates rolling toward the walkways. Kelara froze for a moment and her prosthetic shuddered. Step back, quick, Leela shouted, grabbing her arm. Kelara obeyed instinctively, twisting her body to avoid a falling crate. Sparks flew from her leg as the impact shock rippled through the circuits. The prosthetic stumbled and Kelara felt herself tipping. Hold on, Leela yelled, grabbing Kelara's hand firmly. I've got you. Trust me, using Leela's guidance, Kelara managed to regain her balance. She took a deep breath and flexed her leg, testing its stability. The prosthetic responded perfectly, adjusting its stance to prevent further falls. You humans are astonishing, Kelara said quietly. I have faced dangers before, but this guidance, it saved me, Leela smiled. That's what humans do, we think fast and help each other. Engineer Mark had been following from a distance, watching carefully. He nodded proudly. She's doing perfectly. Leela's guidance and instincts complement the prosthetic's engineering. They make a great team. As they continued, they approached a more difficult challenge, a series of moving platforms connected by narrow beams. Any misstep would cause Kelara to fall, and even a small stumble could damage the prosthetic. Okay, Leela said, examining the platforms carefully. Step onto the first platform, slow, now the beam. Balance carefully, yes, perfect. Kelara moved cautiously, her prosthetic adapting to every micro-adjustment. She could feel the internal sensors responding in real time. Leela's guidance was precise, almost like an extension of the prosthetic itself. Halfway across, a platform shifted suddenly. Kelara's prosthetic wobbled. Step left, faster, Leela shouted. Kelara twisted her body, landing safely on the next platform. Sparks flickered briefly, but the leg held firm. You, humans, small, fragile, yet so capable, Kelara murmured. Your instincts, they are extraordinary, Leela giggled. That's us, small but clever. By late afternoon, they reached the final challenge, an open section of the spaceport filled with moving vehicles, cargo drones, and curious onlookers. Kilara moved confidently now, her prosthetic responding flawlessly to every step. Leela ran beside her, shouting instructions whenever necessary. Suddenly, a hover cargo cart malfunctioned, veering directly toward Kilara. She reacted instantly, stepping to the side, but the cart spun wildly, coming straight for her again. Leela leaped in front, grabbing a small control panel from the floor. Here, use this to stop it. Kilara hesitated, then grabbed the panel. With precise calculations and Leela's instructions, she redirected the cart safely to a wall. Sparks flew, but no one was hurt. Excellent teamwork, Mark said, clapping his hands. Both of you are incredible. Kilara looked at Leela, her expression softening. You, small human, have saved me multiple times today, not with strength, but with courage and intelligence. Leela beamed. That's humans. We use our brains and our hearts, not just our muscles. Kilara nodded thoughtfully. I underestimated your species. Today I have learned the value of intuition, creativity, and trust. Your kind is remarkable. Leela smiled proudly. Thanks, and my dad says humans always try to fix problems, no matter how big or impossible they seem. Kilara's prosthetic leg moved smoothly as she tested a small run, then a short jump. I can move perfectly now, thanks to both of you. You have shown me something no engineer or machine could teach. Leela held her hand out, and Kilara shook it firmly. Humans are amazing, she said quietly. Even a child can guide a quantum-engineered limb. Perhaps I have underestimated your kind too much. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the spaceport. Kilara looked at Leela and Engineer Mark. She had come expecting a simple repair, but she had found something more. Human ingenuity, courage, and the power to face danger with creativity and heart. Leela grinned. See, I told you humans are clever, and sometimes the smallest humans can do the biggest things. Kilara's eyes softened. Indeed, today I have learned much about your species. You are extraordinary. As they walked back to the workshop, Kilara flexed her prosthetic leg, testing its movements one final time. It worked perfectly. She realized that humans were not just capable of repairing machines. They could think, adapt, and act in ways that advanced technology alone could never achieve. And for Kilara, that was a lesson she would never forget. The workshop of Engineer Mark had settled into a calm rhythm after the morning's tests. The lights hummed softly, machines moved gently on their anti-gravity tracks, and the smell of oil and metal filled the air. Leela bounced on her toes, still excited from the earlier test. Kilara's prosthetic leg was working perfectly now, and the alien woman moved gracefully around the workshop, testing every joint and sensor. See, Leela said proudly, humans can fix almost anything. And sometimes even more than machines. Kilara smiled faintly, her violet skin glowing in the workshop lights. Indeed, today has taught me the value of human ingenuity. Even a child can offer insights no machine can replicate. Mark nodded. And that is why I encourage her to learn, experiment, and never fear challenges. Humans may not be the strongest, but we make up for it with brains, courage, and determination. Leela giggled. Exactly, and today's lesson isn't over yet. Kilara raised an eyebrow. Lesson. What do you mean? Before Leela could answer, the spaceport's alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the workshop windows. Engineer Mark grabbed a console. What now? A report scrolled quickly across the screen. A group of alien thieves, notorious for stealing high-tech devices, had been spotted near the outer docking bays. Their target was unknown, but considering Kilara's prosthetic had drawn attention recently, Mark realized the danger immediately. They're coming for her, he said quietly. Kilara, you need to leave, but we can't let them steal your leg or cause damage. Kilara's eyes narrowed. I am aware, but I will not allow my equipment to endanger others. Leela's green eyes sparkled with determination. Don't worry. We'll handle them. My dad taught me how to think fast when things go wrong. Mark sighed but nodded. We'll work together. Leela, stay close and follow my instructions. Kilara, trust us. We'll get through this. The three of them quickly moved to the outer spaceport. The area was chaotic. Cargo platforms moved rapidly, hovering vehicles zoomed past, and small drones hovered near the docking bays. The thieves were already visible, a group of 4 aliens wearing black exosuits, their eyes hidden behind reflective helmets. They carried small devices capable of scanning and stealing advanced tech. Kelara tensed. They are fast and experienced. We must act carefully. Leela took a deep breath. I have an idea. Dad, can we use the floating tools and some of the gadgets in the workshop to block them? Mark nodded. Yes, we can set up distractions and traps, but timing is critical. Leela, you guide her while I manipulate the environment. They split tasks quickly. Mark activated robotic arms that moved crates and equipment, creating temporary barriers. Leela ran beside Kelara, guiding her through the shifting obstacles. Step to the left, watch the crates, perfect, Leela shouted. The thieves approached, scanning the area. One of them pointed a device toward Kelara, but a robotic arm swung a large crate in its path, forcing the thief to dodge. Sparks flew as the crate hit the floor. Kelara moved swiftly, her prosthetic leg adjusting perfectly to the uneven ground. Impressive coordination, she said. Humans, you adapt quickly under pressure. Leela grinned. Told you, humans think fast when things get dangerous. The thieves regrouped and tried to flank them, moving toward the docking bay exit. Leela noticed a stack of crates near the edge of a platform. Dad, can we use those? She called. Mark tapped a few controls and the crates hovered into position. Leela guided Kelara carefully. Step over here, now jump to the next platform. Good, keep moving. Kelara moved with remarkable precision. Her prosthetic responded flawlessly to every instruction, yet the thieves were relentless, scanning for weaknesses. Suddenly, a drone zoomed down from above, scanning Kelara's leg. Leela grabbed a small EMP device from her backpack and threw it toward the drone. The device exploded in a soft blue spark, disabling the drone temporarily. Nice thinking, Leela, Mark shouted. Keep it up, Kelara smiled faintly. This child, she is clever indeed. She combines intuition and technology seamlessly. Leela giggled. That's humans, small but smart. The thieves became more aggressive, rushing toward them. Leela noticed a narrow passage leading to a maintenance corridor. This way, quick, she shouted. Kelara followed, moving cautiously but confidently. Her prosthetic leg adapted to every jump, step, and twist. Leela guided her through tight corners and over uneven grates. They reached the corridor, only to find it blocked by two of the thieves. Kelara's eyes narrowed. We must act carefully. Any wrong move could damage the prosthetic. Leela whispered to her dad, Can we use the floating arms again? Maybe block the corridor temporarily? Mark nodded. With a few taps, robotic arms lifted crates and equipment into place, creating a barrier between Kelara and the thieves. Sparks flew as a crate swung across the path, forcing one of the aliens to stumble. Kelara moved quickly, stepping over obstacles with precise agility. This is extraordinary teamwork, she murmured. Humans, you are remarkable, Leela grinned. Thanks, and my dad says humans never give up even in impossible situations. The thieves regrouped, clearly frustrated. One of them tried to disable Kelara's prosthetic remotely using a hacking device. Leela saw it and acted immediately. She pulled a small shield device from her backpack and threw it between the hacker and Kelara. The shield emitted a bright pulse, temporarily blocking the hacking signal. Kelara's eyes widened. This small human, she is protecting me? Leela smiled. That's what humans do, we protect each other and our friends. Mark moved swiftly, manipulating nearby robotic arms to create distractions. Sparks flew, crates tumbled, and the thieves struggled to navigate the improvised obstacles. Kelara followed Leela's guidance, her prosthetic leg responding perfectly to every movement. You humans, you are not just clever, you are courageous, Kelara said. Even a child can face danger with ingenuity and heart. Leela beamed. Thanks, and my dad says courage is just thinking fast and never giving up. Finally, they reached a clearing near Kelara's spaceship. The thieves were closing in, but Leela noticed a large cargo lift nearby. Dad, can we use that to trap them? Mark nodded. Yes, we can lift it slowly and block the path. Leela, guide Kelara to the ship while I set the trap. Kelara moved quickly, her prosthetic leg flexing perfectly with each step. Leela ran beside her, shouting instructions. Step over the ramp, twist, jump, perfect. As Kelara reached her ship, Mark activated the cargo lift. It rose slowly, blocking the thieves' path and giving them no choice but to retreat. Sparks flew as the lift hit the floor, creating a barrier that the thieves could not cross. Kelara breathed a sigh of relief. We succeeded. Humans, your ingenuity is extraordinary. Leela giggled. Told you, Humans can handle anything, even a group of alien thieves, Mark nodded. Today, we proved that even the smallest humans with courage and intelligence can overcome great challenges. Kilara, your prosthetic is safe, and your trust in humans was well placed. Kilara looked at them both, her violet eyes softening. Indeed, I have learned a valuable lesson. Humans may not be the strongest or the fastest, but your creativity, courage, and determination are unmatched. I respect your kind more than I realized. Leela smiled proudly. Thanks, and my dad says humans can fix not just machines, we can fix problems too. Kilara's lips curved into a faint smile. Yes, today you have fixed more than just a prosthetic leg. You have shown me the strength of your spirit. As the sun began to set over the Veridia spaceport, Kilara flexed her prosthetic leg, testing it once more. It moved perfectly, responding to her every intention. She realized that humans were not just capable, they were extraordinary. They could face danger, think quickly, and act with courage and heart. Leela looked up at her father and then at Kilara. See, humans are clever, brave, and sometimes, even the smallest of us can do the biggest things, Kilara nodded. Indeed, today I have seen the truth of your kind, extraordinary. And as the three of them stood there, watching the spaceport calm down after the chaos, they knew one thing for certain. Together, humans could face any challenge, even in a galaxy full of dangers and impossible odds. The sun had begun to set over the Veridia spaceport, painting the sky with streaks of pink and gold. The busy corridors now glowed softly with the light of hovering lanterns, reflecting off polished floors and metal walls. Leela bounced excitedly beside her father, Engineer Mark, as Kilara prepared to depart. Her prosthetic leg, now fully repaired and tested under the most challenging conditions, functioned perfectly. She flexed and extended it with precision, testing each joint one last time. The leg moved like a natural limb, responding instantly to her thoughts. But more than that, Kilara felt something she had never expected, confidence in humans. You have taught me much, Kilara said softly, her violet eyes meeting Leela's green ones. I came expecting only a repair. I leave with understanding, respect, and admiration for your species. Leela smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. See, I told you humans are clever, and sometimes even more than machines. Engineer Mark put a gentle hand on her shoulder. You've learned something important too, Leela. Humans aren't just clever with machines, they solve problems, protect each other, and face dangers with courage. That's what makes us special. Kilara studied both of them, a faint smile forming on her lips. Indeed. Your kind's ingenuity and bravery are remarkable. Even a child can teach lessons that no technology alone can convey. Leela giggled. And my dad says humans never give up, even when the odds are impossible. Kilara nodded. I have learned that firsthand. Today, your kind has shown me that true strength is not measured in speed, size, or power. It is measured in creativity, courage, and heart. The hum of Kilara's spaceship filled the air as she prepared to board. Its sleek metallic hull gleamed under the soft spaceport lights. She paused, looking at Leela and Mark. I wish to share a small gift, she said, reaching into a compartment. From it, she produced a tiny, glowing device. This is a Zinthar calibration crystal, Kilara explained. It stores precise energy patterns and can help any machine adapt more efficiently. I give it to you, child, as a symbol of our collaboration. May it inspire you to continue creating, learning, and helping others. Leela's eyes widened. Wow. Thank you. She held the crystal carefully in her hands, feeling a warm glow of energy pulsing from it. I'll use it to make even better machines, Kilara smiled faintly. I trust you will, and perhaps someday we may work together again. Across the stars, humans and Zinthar may face challenges no one can foresee, but together we can succeed. Engineer Mark nodded. It would be an honor to collaborate again. And Leela, you have proven today that humans, no matter how small, can achieve extraordinary things. Leela beamed with pride. Thanks, I just love fixing things and helping people, and now I know humans can do amazing things even in space. Kilara's prosthetic leg adjusted smoothly as she stepped toward the spaceship. She paused one last time. Remember this, Leela, courage, creativity, and determination are your true tools. Technology may aid you, but it is your mind and heart that make the difference. Leela nodded eagerly. I will remember, and I'll keep learning just like my dad taught me. As Kilara boarded her spaceship, the engines hummed softly. She glanced down at Leela and Mark. Farewell for now, And remember, humans have power beyond strength. Your spirit is your greatest asset. The ramp lifted slowly, and the ship began to rise above the spaceport. Leela watched it ascend, feeling a mixture of awe and inspiration. She thought about everything they had accomplished together, repairing the prosthetic, navigating dangers, and outsmarting the thieves. Humans had shown courage, creativity, and teamwork, and now she understood how powerful those qualities truly were. "Dad," Leela said softly, turning to Mark, "humans really can do anything if we try, even in a galaxy full of challenges." Mark smiled. "Yes, Leela. And today you proved it. Humans are small, yes, but our minds and hearts can achieve wonders no one can imagine. And sometimes, even the smallest among us can do the greatest things." Leela looked at her hands, thinking of the tools, gadgets, and even the small tricks she had used to help Kelara. But it wasn't just the tools. It was her courage, creativity, and quick thinking that had made the difference. A feeling of pride and confidence swelled inside her. She realized she was capable of more than she had ever imagined. Days passed, but the memory of Kelara's visit stayed with Leela. She returned to the workshop, tinkering with small machines and gadgets, often glancing at the Zinthar calibration crystal resting on her desk. The soft glow reminded her that humans had power beyond what they could see. One afternoon, a small hover drone approached, carrying a message from Kelara. It was simple, a note of thanks and a promise to return for further collaboration. Leela read it aloud to her father. "Leela, Engineer Mark. Humans are extraordinary. Kelara believes it too," Mark chuckled. "Yes, Leela, and so do I today. Humans proved that even in a galaxy full of advanced civilizations, ingenuity, courage, and heart make us unique. Never forget that." Leela nodded firmly, feeling a sense of purpose. She wanted to explore, to learn, to fix problems, and to help others, just as she had helped Kelara. She realized that humans weren't just survivors. They were innovators, problem solvers, and dreamers capable of facing anything. Weeks later, Leela found herself sketching new designs for gadgets, inspired by her encounter with Kelara. She imagined tools that could help travelers, inventions that could aid exploration, and machines that could solve unexpected problems. She understood now that being human wasn't just about strength or speed. It was about thinking differently, adapting quickly, and never giving up. Her father watched her, smiling quietly. "Leela, the universe is full of challenges, but remember, humans can meet them. It's not just about machines or technology. It's about how we think, how we act, and how we care. You've already proven that today." Leela looked up, her eyes shining with determination. "I will keep learning, Dad. I want to help more people, aliens, humans, everyone. And maybe, someday, I'll work with Kelara again across the stars." Engineer Mark nodded. "I have no doubt you will. Humans are extraordinary, Leela, and today you have shown the world just how extraordinary we can be." Months later, Kelara returned to Veridia, not for repairs, but for collaboration. This time, she brought new devices, new challenges, and a deep respect for the humans who had helped her. Leela and Mark welcomed her warmly, ready to work together once again. Kelara smiled at Leela. "You have grown, child, and I have learned even more about your kind. Humans, small but powerful, clever and brave, capable of extraordinary things. I am honored to collaborate with you." Leela grinned. "And I'm ready." Humans never back down from a challenge, and we always think fast. Mark watched them, proud as ever. Together, we can achieve anything. Humans and aliens working side by side, proving that courage, creativity, and determination can overcome any obstacle. Kelara's prosthetic leg moved perfectly as she walked beside them. Leela imagined all the adventures they would have, all the machines they could repair, and all the problems they could solve. She realized that humans weren't just participants in the galaxy. They were innovators, helpers, and heroes in their own right. And as the three of them moved forward, ready for new challenges, Leela knew one thing for certain. Humans could face any challenge, solve any problem, and shine brightly, even among the stars. Because humans had something no other species could replicate: heart, courage, creativity, and determination. And that, she knew, was more powerful than any technology in the universe.